Hey, this is Tracy Lewis with Stuff and Things, and today I have a card I want to walk through. I took a variety of ideas from Pinterest pins, which I thought was fun to explain my thought process with this card. There were a couple of elements that were fixed, and I made them work, which then changed the card. I used from one pin the 45-degree angle of the background, which is different for me than something I would normally do. I did color on color, which is also something I don't normally do, and I stamped off. So this is a crumb cake background, and the ink, I went ahead, fully inked the stamp with the coffee cups, and then stamped once, and then stamped on the crumb cake, and I did that over and over in a repeating pattern. Then I took the background and I used the new artist palette embossing folder. I'm trying to see if you can see the different treatment that it puts on the paper. I had this Misty Moonlight cut out. Whenever I do a background, I always cut out the middle of it so that I am not wasting the cardstock, or the DSP in this case. So I had that in my stash and I pulled it out. Then I had pulled out a piece of, this is a 140-pound Fluid 100, so it's Stampin' Up's watercolor paper. I stamped with Misty Moonlight and ended up changing what I was gonna do. The sample card that I had in mind was a crisp image done in black, so that meant it was StazOn ink, and I thought I really don't want this card to have any black on it. I wanted to focus on the yellow and the Misty Moonlight. The yellow is actually called Bumblebee. This is one of the decorative papers. I actually did not log. It's one of the new ones. I will add it to the supplies list on my blog. I'll need to dig that up. The ruched trim is actually Daffodil Delight, but is a close enough match. The treatment that I did with the watercolor, it was watercolor paper stamped with Misty Moonlight, and then I wanted some sparkle, and I do not think you can see the sparkle. It's hard to tell. It is a Wink of Stella, and the Wink of Stella that I applied is what gives the coffee cups kind of the blurred, watered image, is just the Wink of Stella that I applied. And then I tore and crumpled, then tore again because I had to work out the size that I needed it, because my main background was this Misty Moonlight. I initially wanted this to be a vertical card, but the Misty Moonlight background that I pulled out that would work forced me to go horizontal, which is also good because I don't normally do horizontal cards. There are 3 Misty Moonlight elements, and there were only 2 Bumblebee elements. Libby and I were creating these cards together, and she noted that the amount of Bumblebee, or yellow, did not quite balance out with the number of blue elements. So I went ahead and found this dot and added it. And then I added these clear faceted gems on the focal image, as I call it, or focal layer. Each of these background elements have a different treatment to them. They're stitched on the Misty Moonlight. I went ahead and did fishtails on each side of the yellow, and then I used scalloped stitched and arranged the vellum vertical. Vellum actually was something from yet a different Pinterest. I actually used 3 different pins. I just took elements from the different pins that I saw that I liked, and the colors, if I recall correctly, also did come from one of the pins, though I arranged them a little different than what the pin that had the colors were. And this is a really good way for any level of stamper who wants to try to shake things up, maybe challenge themselves and do something that they wouldn't normally do. If you just see something, one element might not be a big enough challenge, so you can just pick and choose a variety of different pins, challenging yourself to then utilize them in a nice way to come up with a card at the end that is maybe fancier than you have done before. Maybe you're using pins to make simpler cards than you've done before. But I really find it's a lot of fun to stretch myself and do varied things that I would not normally do. And I think this card came out really nice. I am always short thank you cards and birthday cards, so this is going to be a great thank you card to send to somebody when the time comes. And if you have any questions about this card and how I put it together, what my thought process is, go ahead and leave your comments, questions, and suggestions on my YouTube channel on this video, or you can pop over to my blog where I will have all of the supplies, and I do owe you again the DSP that the yellow fishtail came from. And thanks for watching.